welcome to Graftcast, the show where we talk to business owners about their entrepreneurial journeys. Today we've got Doriel Alley on the show, who's talking about her AI businesses.
Yeah, so I think this should be a really good episode. She's got a lot of what she's as being in the AI industry. She's got a lot of knowledge, so it should be a really good episode.
Brilliant. Enjoy the show.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Doriel, for coming on the show. I did say your name right there,
You
didn't I?
did, yeah, you said it well. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you always been entrepreneurial?
I think so, yes, because I always want to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, for as long as I want to do it, for as hard and as fast as I want to do it, with who I want to do it, until I don't want to do it anymore. So I find it, I mean, it's a big buzzword now, but I wouldn't have said that's what I am. But in hindsight, yeah, I've definitely got that spirit in me. But then as well, I have in the past classed myself as, if there's a good leader around me, I'm a really great soldier, you know, because I don't know if all entrepreneurs have to be at the forefront, but I quite like being in the shadows.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, with the way social media is and stuff, you kind of have to be up on front.
Absolutely.
And on show,
I think that's
don't
quite
you?
interesting, actually, because a lot of the people that we've had on this show
Yeah.
have been, you know, the leader, the entrepreneurial leader.
Yeah.
But you saying that you're sort of the soldier in that is quite interesting.
Yeah, I've always, so there's certain shows. Have you ever watched Suits?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I love Harvey Specter.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I've just, those kind of people, I've never wanted to be that person, but I've always wanted to not work. I wanted to work with those kind of people because I kind of trust anything they say. And if they, you know, just aim me, fire me, shoot me, I'll be a bullet. I'll go and do it. But with all my ideas, this entrepreneurial thing that I can't get rid of, I have to do it. That's what I've come to learn in all of these years. It's me. There's no one that's going to save me, so to speak. Or yeah, so I'm a great little soldier, but I think I've moved out of that now, and I have to do things for myself.
Yeah.
I was going to say on that, so that's a really good answer.
Yeah.
I was thinking, is it the same concept of, because I find, obviously, we're in very different journeys, and you're doing a fantastic job already, in the way of when it comes to entrepreneurship, staffing wise, we know what we want them to be like. But obviously, for example, an employee 99% of the time won't, because they don't have the stakes like the owners, but won't act the same as the ownership level.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think, because I haven't worked for someone for a long time now, but I think I've been working alongside people, and I try and do it I'm trying to do it for our clients, try and do exactly what I would want someone to. Let's say Hugo's like my employee, or he's my boss.
Yeah.
I would act how I would want him to act for me.
Yeah. And it's a big responsibility, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, to take that on, don't you think?
Definitely.
Yes. So I'm very much like that. I think on behalf of other people. So if I did have a Harvey Specter in my life, then he can rest assured that Doriel's on the case, and it's very hard to find that in people. Extremely hard, which is why I've fallen in love with these agents. So I'm slowly coding people out of my life. But yeah, I agree with that. It's a responsibility, but it's a character. It's something as well that I don't think you can teach that. You've either got it or you haven't, and it's rare to find. So one of the reasons I think as well that I've never wanted to be the leader is because you have the responsibility of managing the people. And I've got particular standards that I don't understand why other people don't do it, but I don't hold them to it, because I can't expect everybody to be as crazy as me about things. So yeah, but now I don't think I have to manage people because I could just code stuff. So,
I was just going to say, I know one more question. I was going to say, just for the audience as well,
yeah.
can you just tell us now, like a description of like, so what do you do currently now?
Currently, I build AI agents from scratch using software that's available out there to anybody. And it's blown my mind at what it can do. I've literally just had an idea as I was leaving the house, and I'm like, because it's really cool to think of something, be able to build it for nothing, and then use it, actually implement it. So that's what I do. I build AI agents. What I do as well is teach other people how to understand this, because I think it's coming in thick and fast, a little bit under the ground at the moment, but I think it's going to happen. And don't hold me to this, but I can see a lot of people managing a bunch of agents in the future. So yeah, that's what I do. Build AI agents. I do a done for you service, but I do have a program that I put people through, and I love showing them, like, you know, in a couple of months you'll be able to offer services or do stuff for yourself.
Brilliant. And so just going back a bit, so do you think your upbringing at all has sort of had a knock-on effect on how you are now, essentially, as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, definitely. I think that and I wouldn't have said this before, because I see a lot of people post about childhood trauma and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know, what's done's done, kind of thing. But yes, I've had a very strict upbringing in the first part. So my mum, very strict woman, and then I ended up living with my dad, who's the complete opposite. So I've got both of those things in me, but I'm very concerned about delivering results. You know, I was raised with the mum, you don't take people's hard-earned money and blah, 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 blah. And I would be your worst customer if I paid for something and you didn't deliver what I wanted. You know, I'm not horrible, but I want what you said. Yeah. So yeah, I think that strictness that I've had when I was younger, it's been a training, and it's something that is just in me. So, for example, I'm doing something for somebody now, and he's so happy with what I'm doing that.
Sorry, if you speak up closer to
Is
the
it
mic.
better?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I do apologise.
Yeah, no. He's really happy with what he's getting. He's sending me so many messages that's blowing him away, and he wants to do more than just pay for my service. He's like, send me your logo. I'm going to do you a sting. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. But and I only realised this week. I love character and personal development because it's ongoing. Yeah, that I'm holding back off of that because I don't want the balance to tip. Mm-hmm. I don't want to feel like I owe him more than, I don't know how to explain it, but I even said that to him. I said, listen, until I deliver 3 more things, I don't really want to. And he's like, why? And I think that comes from my childhood. So yeah, my upbringing has been a yin and a yang. So I've got it both in me. And it's a good thing, you know, it's a good thing.
Have you like on the concept of, because I fully appreciate what you mean, because when me and Hugo going forward with this business so far, we've had a few things which we've, I won't go in detail, we've ordered and have not arrived or come to fruition after being told many times and delay. Yeah. And I think that's one big thing we try and do, is we try and make a big thing as well in just really giving the proper service, because at the end of the day, no one likes being told so they're not getting it. Yeah. So, but I know things do happen. Yeah. Has anything happened in your career so far where someone's thought you've under-delivered, and what did you you haven't? Oh, okay.
No, honestly, I will stay up overnight. I will slide down the wall. No, I always deliver, and I won't take on things, even when it's questionable, you know, so... No, but I have seen it happen to a lot of people. And I have seen a lot of people not care so much about what they've done. And I genuinely wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And I know that sounds, oh, really? I wouldn't. My daughter would even say, Mum, just go to sleep. I'd be like, no, I've got to deliver this. So, no, I haven't ever been in that position, but I have seen it done. And I've seen people flippantly just put things out, take people's money and disappoint them.
And do you think that's why you've had a attraction to AI, because it can almost deliver the same standard as what you're saying?
Yeah, because the language I'm coding with is Python, and it's a really solid language.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get it right, it's so secure. You know, it's very stable. But another thing that I realised while I'm coding it and why I love it so much is that if there is a problem, it might take me a little while to dig around to figure out the problem, but I'll find the problem. There's a logical reason for the problem. And once it's solved, move on. With people, even myself, you know, I might have a word with myself 3 months ago, thought I've dealt with this, and then 3 months later I'm doing the same problem. And so, yeah, I think agents, there's just A plus B equals C. And I love that. I love the creation part of it, but once it's done, I feel happy with it and secure and know it's not going to backfire on me.
Yeah.
I can see what you mean, because sometimes I always feel like, because I can fully appreciate what you mean when it comes to, because we've had clients before who asked for stuff and then they're not delivered at all. And essentially, like, to them, it's like, it doesn't even matter. I'm thinking to us, because we've had stuff before where we've done something for a client and they want some changes, and things do happen. Yeah. But I always feel like everything when it comes to business, everything in life, not everything's going to go to plan. It's how you deal with something. Yeah. That's the big thing for me. Yeah. So I feel like when stuff's happened to us so far, we take it in, we discuss it with them, we find out exactly what they want. Yeah. We get it sorted and we get it finished. But then some people, when they don't, I think that's crap. I don't know how you don't. Like, to me, the amount of times where like something's happened to us and Hugo's been like, oh, it's fine, and then vice versa, because we, like yourself, like we care.
I think it's the thought that, oh, you know, at the end of the day, we'll still get paid. That's the thing. Yeah. Like, that's why their quality is like lower, because they just think of it as just another payday. It's not about the quality. It's not the feeling that you get the feeling that you get back from someone that you've done a great job. Yeah. It's just the money. It's greed.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
It's exactly that. Yeah, and there is such a satisfaction from doing a great job. It lasts for a long time, doesn't it? You know, so I don't know why people. There's always going to be different types of people in the world, but you put so much effort into getting new clients, making more money. You're actually chipping away at your reputation. For me, and even, you know, the same kind of principle with hackers. You know, they're so clever, really, and they spend so much time in ripping people off. If they just shifted that, you know, I'm like. I get people trying to hack me and I'm like, you're so clever.
She tried, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same with these people that just jump up and want to, you know, got a little idea, haven't really tested it, not prepared to get proper feedback and find out what the clients really want, take their money on to the next. So, yeah, it's, for me, there's more of that out. Well, I don't know. I think things are changing a little bit. I think the new generation coming up, there's a different way to sell. There's a different way to deal with people. All this old, make people say yes 3 times and find out their why and lock them down, and then they can't say, all that old legacy kind of way of doing things. I'm hoping is shifting out, because I'm doing well through pure transparency, not over sensationalizing things and telling people the limitations, what you might bump into, because it's such a new area as well.
Yeah.
We don't know. I think it's going to be all right. And it has been so far.
So on, because this is to me, it's a big, it's like a big topic for me. And but like when it comes to AI, what's your opinion on the concept of chatting to the human touch to the AI touch. Because, for example, through video content, I feel like I'm sure things will change over time, but I feel like for me, I personally resonate with you over AI, especially when it comes to service. Also, because if I'm buying into something, obviously, if it's just content, unboxing
It's
videos.
exactly that, service. I don't think AI can sell a service. But so are you asking, what do I think for AI generated content or
video
messaging
and
video?
agents
Yeah.
that are like that you're Mirror Me,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you know the company Mirror Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've seen a talk on it.
We were at an event, and it was we were at an event.
Spaces.
Spaces.
Oh right,
And it
with
wasn't
JP.
with JP there, and it wasn't until we went to that event, and then literally Nesh, then she goes, "Oh, do you know that?" And I was like, "Oh, really?"
I launched that.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
yeah.
It's my. So the agents I've built that are doing messaging, I approve everything first. I would say it's about 90% sounding like me, but if I only ever get it to 99%, I'm always going to approve it and tweak it before it goes because
that's a good touch. That is.
It's killed the empower, embrace, all these words that I think have lost meaning. It's awful. And Mirror Me was an avatar service, so you know about it. You know how it works.
Can you just for our viewers? Can you just let
Explain
them know?
that.
Yeah. What that
So
is.
Mirror Me is an avatar service that uses technology that's already out there, and it offers a managed service, and it does well with like corporate videos or corporate updates and possibly training programs. So with a capture session, we take a capture session in somewhere like here, and then moving forward, you just need to send us your script and we can produce a video. So not just the avatar, the whole managed service needs to make that video fit for purpose. What I can't see it doing is replacing a lot of social media stuff because there's not enough in it. It's very much newsready style, so corporate-y, it works like that. And even on the program. So yes, I done that, and I actually got into agents as a way of, because I've got some coding history in the past, but I got into agents as an idea to help sell Mirror Me a little bit more, because I thought if I make a program, I can show these corporates where I think the future's going, and they can just see the quality of our work, and then we open up the door and later on for early adopters. And then I started the agents. I was like, well, this is where it's at, because there's so much limitation with the avatar stuff. And just back to the question of AI generated stuff versus real stuff. So I put my program together with AI avatar videos because I was into it, and I was all dressed up very posh and stuff. And the day before I went to release it, I removed them all and just done a video of me because it lost all of my... And I showed it to a few people and they said 100 times better. I don't care about the quality, 100 times better. There's such a disconnect. So for me, I think AI, people are so lazy that if you go on LinkedIn and you look at somebody's comments, and they're so-called professionals, and it's awful that it's just AI generated, and insights, and the words are just dead, which is how I see the avatars, if that's all you're putting out.
Yeah, I find, and twice that's a really good answer, because I feel like in every facet, from filming yourself, there's always limitations, vice versa with AI. So it's nice you can actually, because most people I chat to specifically, and everyone's kind of like, if they're this video, anything else, you just, I'm not even going to listen. And AI wise, vice versa. So it's a very good answer.
Yeah.
And I do feel people are inherently very lazy.
Yeah.
So I find AI is a fantastic tool
It's amazing.
to alongside yourself.
100%.
Because as long as you have your own, because you find, even if you go on LinkedIn, you get like, there's kind of buzzwords, which you see it and you're like, well, that's AI.
Dive.
Yeah, deep dive. Yeah. But there's loads, I can't think of now, but there's so many of them. And always that little rocket emoji. And it's just, sometimes I think to myself, if you work like if you implement it yourself and you work to make certain tools and certain jobs easier, that's the best way. But don't fully rely on it being like, oh, that will do, there's no, you know what I mean?
I agree with you. I feel almost, and not just now, this was about 2 years ago. I've got messages where I've said, you've just straight chat GPT'd me. You know, I feel like that's rude. Like, but you want me to now take time and consider what you said in your... So I think it's a little bit offensive to just be so lazy with it and expect me or the recipient to drop at your feet and then give you all this information. So no, be clever, and the tool's amazing and it allows you to be you, but think deeper. It allows you to go deeper. So it's not cheating in any way, shape or form, but I think you'll ruin your reputation if you just rely on it and blindly let it run on its own. So no, I don't do that.
And you know, working with AI agents in the future, in the near future, do you see that replacing a lot of people's jobs?
I don't know. For me, yeah, but that's the way I'm geared. I like people, still like people. People do like having people in the office, but for business and for the bottom line, unfortunately, it makes sense to get rid of certain things. So I know that. I was thinking I'm going to have this person, that person, this person. I don't have to have any of them anymore. They never get tired. They never answer me back. They never
Take holiday. I never like,
you know. And as somebody that's come from this fitnessy kind of background, I have got so much energy, and I wouldn't make anyone feel bad about the fact that, oh my God, you was tired yesterday. You was tired. You're always tired, you know. And I don't get it, but these agents never do that.
No, exactly. I think with bigger companies, like big companies, obviously it's going to be a bit more difficult for them to, fire all the people. Well, maybe it's not, but I think also with startups, it's also a more affordable option to use an AI agent.
It really is.
So it's the comparison between the two, and finding, whether in the future AI agents might even be in those bigger companies, and
they absolutely will.
And
they already
probably,
are. You know, it's already happening. Like 51% of GPT users are already building agents. So that's coming down to the everyday person. The bigger companies are already using things like more agentic AI, where it kind of thinks itself and you're not 100% sure where it's going. What I build is different. We know exactly what it's going to do, and we instruct it. It's just clever instructions, and then it will go off to AI and generate a message based on a very clever prompt. So it sounds like me. But I do think it's going to shift. I'm not sure where it's going to shift. There are some actors in the space that really want to scare people.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by actors?
You have to get on board now. You have to do this, otherwise this is going to happen. Or they over sensationalize what they do. Get some AI agents and you'll triple your business and stuff like that. And I think we said earlier, I can't see it selling a service. I can see it being very clever and possibly helping with products. But people buy from people still when it comes to services. So it can do numbers for you and it can bring loads of people in front of you, but you still have to
get it across the line.
You still have to do all of that. So I don't know the way it's going to change, but it will change.
What are you going to ask?
Yeah, I was going to say, when it comes to your outreach, so what do you do? Because this is why I say what you do for your outreach, because I find, because you're definitely right, some of the old tactics of business don't really work anymore, which is always a good thing, because some of them were a bit aggressive or a bit too, but I find that for us, like we did a lot of like door to door, and you would now, that's really old, but I find
That's brilliant. I
Yeah,
bet it's
working really.
brilliant.
It's proper kind of like, it gets our confidence up loads, because when we go to events now, we're kind of like, we go straight into it because we're used to chatting to someone and they come to the door, they're like, why the hell are you here? You have to kind of like be really enthusiastic. So what sort of stuff do you do for your outreach?
I have coded some agents that will go out and send out connection requests for me on LinkedIn, for example, but very non-salesy. And then I do have a very clever way for it to follow up, but that is all I will do. And there will be a big gap in between that, because you've got to respect the platforms, and people get bombarded.
I bet, yeah.
But what I made, I find cold calling brilliant. It's I would get to, as long as you know what you're doing, and my opener is, listen, I'm going to be honest, this is a cold call, so do feel free to put the phone down on me. But if you have got 30 seconds, and they generally have a little giggle and say, go on then. So it works very well for me. And I generally find within 6 to 7 calls, I'm booking appointments.
Okay.
So before I knew about AI agents, last year I would go through Google Maps. And if I'm looking for, last year it would have been personal trainers, just list them off and phone them. But now with AI, my little agent, I've got something that can go and whip them all out for me. And you can see it on my screen. It will open it like a ghost and put it all into whatever sheet I want it in, my Excel sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, brilliant, I'll start calling on Monday. And then I was like, hang on a minute. Wait, maybe we can take this further. And that's what I love about it. So from there, then I get it to go to their website now, scrape their website, see if you can get some stuff about me, see if you can get some more emails and stuff, and get their social links. And if you get a LinkedIn one, I want you to go to LinkedIn now, and I want you to get their latest posts so I know what's important to them. I want you to get their people, and find me the most 2 prominent people in that company, and it'll bring out the managing directors and the people that. And if I didn't want to talk to them, I can get it to, I can specify it, code it in. So I use that, and actually that's become something that's really important to people. I wasn't meaning on selling that in any way. I was just showing people, once you learn this is what you can do, and this is what you can do. And people are like, can you just get some data for me? Like, this is a really cool service that I've stumbled upon, and it is just a click of a button. But yes, for me, I used to hate networking, but I've recently enjoyed it. And I think it's because I have been with people in the past that are all about sales, and we've got to go in and we've got to do this and we've got to do that. And now I just go in and just chat to people, tell them what I do. And it's the numbers thing again, just get out in front of numbers. So networking, I'm doing a bit of. Cold calling is brilliant. And then I have got some it's not automated yet. I can put it up in the cloud and put it on a schedule, but I'm still very much a control freak. So I still like to now just run 10 for me or send 10 messages. So yeah, I've got a combination of all kinds of things going on.
I was going to say, so live with a different one. Yeah. So could you go into your sporting background?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was a late starter. I started, I was, my daughter, how old was I? Maybe 25, 26-ish. And I just went straight into Muay Thai. I was in food shopping one day and someone gave me a leaflet, and I don't know what possessed me, but I said, I'm going to come back to this. And it's a gym in Luton run by, I think he's Russian or something. But I walked in there, just had a fag in the car park, I didn't know what I was getting into. And he made me put someone on my back and just run around while he was teaching the class. And I was thinking, but then he lined everybody up and made them do press-ups. And whoever dropped, he was hitting them with a skipping rope. And I was like, oh my gosh, keep
not going to drop that.
Yeah. So, I come out of there, like during it, I thought I was going to die. I come out of there and I had to wait for half an hour because I was shaking. I couldn't even I didn't even want the cigarette. And I think that's what started for me. It's such a challenge, but I made it, and then I was back next week, and I just, when I like something, I go into it. So yes, then I moved up to Milton Keynes because that was in Luton. I'm from Luton, and my daughter into it as well. Where I go, she goes, and she was like 3 or 4. So I was throwing her in the ring with these big bows on her head and stuff. And so that's my main thing. It was mainly fight training. From there, it can be quite a grubby environment, even the nicest gyms. And so I did start launching, and I've got all this business kind of experience as well. So I started launching studios for little boutique, really nice studios. I launched one in Milton Keynes, the first EMS studio near the train station, and it's lovely. So I liked being there. But the everyday fitness has never appealed to me. I went to the gym maybe 5 years after I started Muay Thai and boxing. And I have to go now because I snapped my Achilles heel last year.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I'm getting old. Training a 21-year-old to get in the ring, and we're just going too hard, too much every day, stupid hours, not resting. But you get into this, it builds a mentality in you, it builds a discipline in you that you can keep going. And I think as well, where I learnt this EMS stuff and the science behind, we could run as fast as we wanted to, or Usain Bolt could be sprinting, and he would only ever use 30-40% of his muscle fibers, and this EMS can go in and switch it on. So I just know that there's so much more in us. It's not the body, it's the mind. And I love that about Muay Thai. I love teaching people. I never really wanted to get in the ring myself. I've done a few things, but I've seen a lot of people do it and then they've never trained again. They've left it. And for me, it was very good for me and raising my daughter, this discipline, this character building thing, that I needed it in my life all the time. I didn't want it to ever get tainted, and it never has been, apart from snapping my Achilles heel.
Well, it makes sense with the discipline and everything like that you've put into your business well as well, and your entrepreneurship. Yeah. So it really makes sense, I think, what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Do you do any, so like with your Achilles, which sounds bloody awful, can you still do anything now? Do you still do any training now?
Well, I want to go back. My daughter thinks I shouldn't. I want to, and I don't know how to. I'm going to have to do the gym. I'm going to have to go to the gym and do squats, which I can do.
Is it boring though? Compared to combat stuff, it's boring.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So I generally watch. I'll be watching stuff on my own agents now, but I generally watch quantum physics while I'm in the gym, because my mind is so used to thinking 4 steps ahead, and the peripheral vision and all of this, and I've got to go down to that, lift it up, lift it down. So, but as you get older, you do have to do those things, just to make sure the old joints are going to carry you through the next 20 years or whatever.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
You ever thought of doing jiu-jitsu?
That's floor stuff, isn't it?
Grand game, yeah.
Yeah.
I just signed I did jiu-jitsu in Milton Keynes. My dad's 63. I just signed him up to jiu-jitsu.
Where'd you do it?
I do it in Emerson Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, the rugby club?
Yeah, no, but I know Emerson Valley.
It's called Southern Tribe. It's really, honestly, I do a lot of training. I did lots of different gyms. The lads there are so nice. They're really, really good.
Are they quite new?
What do you mean?
They've been there for a long time.
I've never been there for a couple of years.
Okay.
They're opening up another gym as well.
Yeah.
But they're really trying to help you there. So you learn so much easier, because I want to get better. So do you. And it's that really good camaraderie.
Did you know what? That might be a really good suggestion. My daughter's trying to tell me to go to old boxer-size people. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then she's saying you need to do Pilates. I'm not doing that. But I've always loved the stand-up, and this 21-year-old that I was training, he did win his fight, you know.
Nice.
So we'll snap that. But he's good on the floor as well. And I think, you know, 10 years ago, if you get me on the floor, I'll just wiggle out of it. But I don't know I can choke you, and that's about it. This lad, who's like half the size of you, got me on the floor, and I could not move. I could not believe it either. And I couldn't stop laughing because I was so shocked at how locked I was. And I said to my daughter, like, he could do anything to me if he wanted to. That's how. So, yeah, that might be a really good suggestion because it's still got all the elements I like.
I think because, and also it's kind of like when you're like, it's like child's play. When it comes to the ground, like you know, when you go to the gym and stuff, I've been training for like, so I got the tennis thing. Oh, I'm ringing my ear. Sorry. Oh, of course. I've got lads who train there. I've been training for like nearly it's about just over a year and a half. The brown belts there and the purple belts and stuff treat me like I'd never done it before. I'll go where they want me to go. I don't want them to. When you have that much control on the floor, you can't.
It's
you're
such.
scuppered.
It takes so much longer to learn the ground game, doesn't it, than the stand up. And I did do a few classes, but you know, and they're so calm as well. I'd been out of breath like in 30 seconds. But you just feel them sliding, and I'm like, I don't know where they go.
You know what's happening. You know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know it's going to hurt in like 3 seconds. So that's a really good suggestion, actually. That's a good one. And I don't think my daughter would, because she's literally like, don't you go back yet?
Because it's really sick. Because my dad's 63, not done anything in his life, but it's good because like it's the safest combat sports to do because you can tap.
Yeah.
So it also gives fitness, really good for the mind. I find that definitely being entrepreneurial takes your mind off stuff. Yeah, it could be. It's just a good way for. I was actually going to do it.
He's trying to advertise it to me right now.
You're getting in there. I'll see you down there.
I've tried to.
I think a 6'7" man with floor stuff is probably not the best thing.
Yeah, it'd be great. You've got long legs, getting triangles and stuff easy.
Forget how tall you are. Actually, in fact, when I walked in, I was like, "Oh, the first thing I said, wow, the size of you." But do you think the size matters on the floor? Because this little boy, I was like, how did you do that? Do you think?
So it depends. Like it depends on how much. If you've got the same skill level, very similar skill level, then the big person will win. Yeah. Not necessarily. Yeah. But most of the time. Yeah. But if no one's done anything on the ground and you're, if you know what you're doing, yeah,
you're good.
You control them.
Okay, because I'd like that because I can just feel the more time the boxing slowly leaving. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want it back, but I don't want to damage because the doctor said my other one could go at any time, just walking down the street where I've just overdone it. Yeah. But that's a really good shout, actually.
I'll give you the details after this.
I'll tell you what I didn't like, though. Why I didn't do it back in the days, I guess, is because you will get paired up with men. And I do know where your face is going to end up. You know, there are some very positions that you end up in. So
I can
that's one thing.
Definitely see what you mean. That's true.
Yeah.
I think, but when it comes, because it's different, like
even girls.
It's true, yeah.
It's
like there's like a thing called north-south.
Right.
North-south, which is 69 essentially.
Okay.
But like in different positions. But when what
has this podcast turned into?
Or you get someone's back, for example. Yeah. But like when someone's like, for me, let's say that to me, you're trying to choke me. I'm not thinking about anything. Or if he's it's different. Do you know what I mean? I can see what you mean. And from an outside perspective, you think, well, they're just rolling on each other. It's actually, I'm there trying to stop you from snapping my arm, vice versa, leg, knee, choke.
Yeah. Because you will just get in it, won't you? Because when I'm sparring with people standing up, do you know, a bomb could go off. I'm not thinking about anything apart from what the agenda, not anything else outside of that. So, yeah. And actually, I was with someone for a little time when we were training, and he didn't like the idea of that as well. And I could appreciate that, you know. Because even if I was thinking about snapping his head off and he was thinking about taking my ankle off, he's standing there watching. Your head is, move your head kind of thing. So, but it is a good shout.
Okay.
It is a good shout.
I'll let you know the details after this.
Yeah, please do.
Well, Doriel, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
It's been really brilliant to have you, and we
Thank
wish
you
you
very
all
much.
the luck with your AI agency and everything like that.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me in the middle of this lovely big nature.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right. Take care.
Thanks. Well, Jack, how was that for you?
That was a good one, to be fair. What I really enjoyed with her was asking actually her opinion, because our opinion is, for example, I like a human interaction.
Yeah.
And it was actually really nice and quite transparent to get her point of view of, she thinks it's great and she's definitely advocate for it, but it working more in a consumer point of view, selling products and that kind of content, and not so much in the actual B2B kind of like sales. Because, for example, sales is easy with people.
Yeah, I think it's nicer to hear that a lot of people's opinion is that AI was always going to be there to help us and not to control us in general and not to replace us, but the people that are going to succeed are the ones that learn how to use it properly. And I think that's the main sort of takeaway from this.
Yeah, I think again, people do unfortunately can be a little bit lazy with it. So it's just actually helping it yourself, using it to add value to your service, to what you do. That's probably the best way for it, I think.
And you even got some combat sports in there, Jack,
We
didn't
did, to
you?
be fair.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.